Good morning. The time is 4:59 on this Friday, September 27th. I'm Madison Pergram, and thank you for joining us on Mountain News this morning. So all we've been talking about is hot weather and dry weather. We've just kept saying it over and over every day, but let's go to Kelly McShane. Is there any difference in these next few days, or is this going to be hot and dry, hot and dry?
Hot and dry looks to be the trend as we head into the weekend, unfortunately. We got a few tastes of fall this week, but we're right back to that summer-like pattern. Temperatures this morning off to a chilly start for some, but warmer for others. Check it out, lower 50s up into Ashland, mid-60s here in Hazard as well as in Jackson, and we're looking at mid-60s down into the Cumberland Valley region as well this morning. A little bit of fog out there. You can see it on top of Main Street, downtown Whitesburg. So we are dealing with that this morning, especially into the Cumberland Valley region. You can see that here on the visibility map, less than 1 mile in a lot of places. And because of that, a dense fog advisory was issued, and it is in effect until 9 a.m. for basically the Hal Rogers Parkway and south, including our Tennessee counties. So be very careful traveling along Interstate 75 or in any of those counties this morning. And we are going to be returning to the heat, and I'll have more details on that in just a little bit. Madison.
Thank you, Kelly. Well, more than 200 people met yesterday at Operation Unite's first ever Rural Health Opioid Project Providers Summit. With several successful recovery stories, this summit was designed to provide hope to Eastern Kentucky communities and information on how they can help with the opioid crisis.
We've been fighting this war for 20 years. And I think most people have realized that trying to incarcerate or send people who are addicted to drugs to prison is not going to be a cure for them.
Mullins hopes that having a different approach to people fighting drug problems will take away the stigma of substance abuse disorders. And the Kentucky Association of Blacks in Higher Education held their Southeast Regional Summit yesterday at the Southeast Community and Technical College campus in London. Overall, the discussions were centered around discussing diverse environments and inclusiveness in and outside of the classrooms. The summit panel included students, officials from Berea College, and the Hazard and Southeast Community and Technical College campuses. And the Kentucky Festival kicked off in London last night. Each year, people in charge of the festival look for a grand marshal of the parade that is an inspiration to the community. This year, they unanimously chose Lindsay Sharp, who has only missed one festival. Sharp loves the festival so much, she scheduled her chemotherapy for a type of skin cancer around the event.
I definitely wanted to feel good and not have to wear a mask, trying to eat a fried Snickers or fried chicken from the frying pan.
We will tell you what being chosen for this year's Grand Marshal means to Lindsay at 6 o'clock right here on Mountain News this morning. Poetry lovers gathered in Pikeville City Park on Thursday, writing, reading, and appreciating the art of words. Pikeville Poetry hosted its third Poetry in the Park event, encouraging the community to get more involved in reading and writing poetry. The event is part of a global 100,000 Poets for Change movement and has added a read a poem to a child component. Pikeville Poetry has monthly meetings at the Pike County Extension Office. You can find out more about those on the group's Facebook page. And golfers gathered at Stonecrest Golf Course to tee off in support of students across the region. Yesterday, the Southeast Kentucky Chamber of Commerce hosted its annual Links for Learning Golf Scramble to benefit local schools. The chamber used the fundraiser for its Excellence in Education grants. Proceeds are awarded to schools in need to allow them the opportunity to buy supplies. Chamber President Jordan Gibson says the fundraiser is just one way the chamber works to help the region.
Funding's always an issue, and it's getting harder for schools all the time to come up with extra funding for new and innovative programs.
Around 15 teams were on site for the 12th annual scramble. And flu season is coming, and Sunday begins Kentucky's official flu season. Influenza activity typically starts to increase in October and peaks between December and February. That's when we start seeing more and more get sick. The CDC says about 8% of Americans get the flu each year. Thousands die from it and other related illnesses. The best protection is to get your flu shot and to keep your hands clean and away from your eyes, nose, and mouth. Law enforcement agencies in Frankfort are battling a new trend sweeping its way across the city and the county. Since January 1st, the Franklin County Sheriff's Office says it seized more than 600 products used to vape THC, which is the chemical in marijuana that gets a person high. In these cartridges, it's highly concentrated.
The levels of THC in these pens are not what you would think, oh, they're just smoking weed or whatever and let it go. It's serious. You know, you can end up with a medical condition that may take your life or cost you a lot of heartache and time in a hospital.
The sheriff suspects by the end of 2019, the department will seize more than 1,000 THC vaping cartridges. Thanks for getting your day started with us right here on Mountain News This Morning. Coming up, new reports found water is currently unaffordable for 46% of people in one eastern Kentucky county.
Well, the heat is returning to the mountains and it is not holding back. I will tell you about the possible records we may face heading into the weekend coming up next.